How did Kigali become one of Africa's most admired cities? Because honestly, a lot of people outside Rwanda still don't fully understand what's happening here. The city became the first African city to host the UCI Road World Championships. BK Arena keeps hosting some of the biggest Basketball Africa League finals on the continent. Move Afrika brought artists like Kendrick, Lamar, and Doja to Kigali. FIFA Series international friendly matches also took place here. And somehow, people still barely talk about the city globally the way they should, which is strange, because Kigali doesn't feel like a city trying to prove itself anymore. It feels like a city that already knows exactly what it wants to become. And by the way, if you enjoy this kind of storytelling about Rwanda, subscribe to PMG. Now here's the strange thing about Kigali. For years, African cities were usually shown through the same lanes: chaos, traffic, noise, and survival. But Kigali built a completely different image. A city that stayed unusually clean for a capital. A city where order isn't optional. A city where safety and structure aren't just promises. They are visible in everyday life. And the world is noticing, not because Kigali is the biggest city in Africa, because it isn't. Not because it's the loudest, because it definitely isn't, and I hope it won't be. But because the city feels intentional. Like nothing here is accidental. Even the silence feels designed. And Kigali didn't become this known by accident. It was built carefully over time. A place where discipline shaped how the city looks and moves. And slowly, that discipline started attracting attention. International conferences began choosing Kigali. Major sports events started landing here. Tourism started growing around the city's reputation. Global partnerships followed. And even entertainment started shifting toward Kigali in ways nobody expected. And without making noise about it, the city started building a global image that now feels hard to ignore. Not because it tried to be everywhere at once, but because everything it did was deliberate. And maybe that's Kigali's real secret. The city understands branding without needing to talk about it. Before most African cities were thinking about global perception, Kigali was already shaping its own. And over time, that identity started compounding, not through slogans, not through marketing campaigns alone, but through consistency, through how the city feels when you arrive, through how it holds itself together. Today, Kigali has become one of Africa's key conference and event destinations, and you can actually feel it happening in real time. One moment it's international business leaders in the city, then BK Arena is packed for the Basketball Africa League finals. Later on, global music projects like Move Afrika bring international artists to Kigali. And then the UCI Road World Championships completely reshape how the world sees the city. And that's the strange thing about Kigali now. It keeps appearing in spaces people didn't expect it to enter. Sports, entertainment, business, tourism, technology, luxury travel, and somehow it all still feels balanced. Like the city is growing but not losing control of itself in the process. Because Kigali feels different, not futuristic in a performative way, not overly luxurious, not chaotic or loud. The city feels controlled, calm, modern, safe, creative, ambitious, and strangely peaceful at the same time. And Kigali at night might be when the city makes the most sense. You get quiet roads, soft city lights across the hills, and a sense of calm movement through the city. Nothing forced, nothing exaggerated, just atmosphere. And that's what stays with people. Because what's happening in Kigali is bigger than aesthetics. It's a shift in what an African city can look like when growth is intentional. Cleaner, safer, more structured, more ambitious, without trying to imitate everywhere else. And yes, Kigali isn't perfect, no city is, But what's happening here feels deliberate, and over time, that consistency has turned into reputation, and that reputation is now turning into global attention. Maybe Kigali will never be Africa's loudest city, maybe it doesn't want to be. But while other cities compete for attention, Kigali is quietly building influence, and that might be even more powerful.